laws of motion and we are seeing first law of motion. Okay, in first law of motion, what is the statement? Every particle or each object or every object remains in its own state. In its own state means either in state of rest or uniform motion unless external unbalanced force is applied on it. So is this the same thing I am talking about inertia? Yes, inertia means the object, it's the tendency to be in its own state, and this is also it remains in its own state. Okay, so I can say half of the Newton's first law explains you inertia. But here you will observe that if we apply external force, unless external unbalanced force is applied on it, so it will be in its state of motion or rest unless external. If we apply external force, this half part and from unless till it, unless external force is applied on it. So if we apply external force on this particular object which is at rest or in motion, what will happen? Suppose the object is at rest and if we apply force, it will start to move. So it will break inertia when we apply external unbalanced force in it. So that means inertia is present in the object which is at rest. The object is at rest, it is having the tendency to be in its own state, means it will be in the state of rest. But when it will overcome its state of rest, when we apply external force on it, when we apply external force, it starts to move. Correct? Or if it is moving with uniform motion, and if we apply external force, it will what? It will change its motion. Either it will be non-uniform, it will increase its speed, it will decrease its speed, or I can say it is moving, it will stop. So when we apply external force on the object, it will overcome the inertia. Okay. Now what does this unbalanced force means? Unbalanced force means when we apply equal amount of force, when we apply equal force in opposite direction, then the force is said to be balanced force. Like suppose this is the object. Okay, I am applying 5 Newton of force from this direction and 5 Newton of force from this direction. Now both are equal forces, 5 Newton. Equal forces I am applying. Forces are equal and that also in opposite direction. The object will move? No, it will be at its position or it will be at rest. So this is called balanced force. Okay. Now I am applying 10 Newton of force and same 5 Newton of force. This object, this is unequal force, 5 Newton, 10 Newton. So is it equal? No, it is unequal force and in opposite direction. Or if we are applying in different directions, then we will get unbalanced force. So unbalanced force means unequal force or equal force, but directions are not opposite. They may be same, they may be different. I will show you one diagram. By it you will very easily understand what does unbalanced force means. Suppose this is the object which is at rest. If I apply 5 Newton of force, this object was at rest, we applied 5 Newton of force, it started to move in this direction. So I can say this is unbalanced force. Or suppose I am applying this force 10 Newton downward direction and this in right hand side direction 5 Newton. So here also force, so little bit object will move, but just due to 10 Newton the object will move in this direction. The forces are not exactly opposite. If they are opposite, suppose 10 Newton, still the object is not having equal force. So such forces is said to be unbalanced force. Okay. So in statement of Newton's first law of motion, very important point is it remains, also you may write, and every object remains in its own state. You know what state we are having? state of uniform motion or state of rest. You may write any, okay? But when, unless external unbalanced force is applied on it, unless this object will be having its inertia, unless we apply external force of motion. Hence this law is also called as law of inertia or inertial law of motion. This is called as inertial law of motion. Newton's law, first law, is depending on inertia, or it is explaining related to inertia. Hence it is called as inertial law of motion. Now let us see Newton's second law of motion. I'll require both, so I'll erase this part. Newton's second law of motion. It's very interesting because you will come to know at the end of this law, this equation we will use many times, not in this class but in 10th class, or wherever force will come, this equation will be related to it, or this is very formula we will get by using this law of motion. Okay, now let us see. Now Newton's, like for first law of motion, for studying first law of motion, children's, we have learned inertia. For second law of motion, let us first learn what is momentum. Momentum. Okay. So momentum is quantity of motion or amount of motion present in the object. Okay. So momentum is quantity of motion present in the object. So it is product of mass and velocity. Momentum is product of mass and velocity. It is what? Motion present in an object is said to be momentum. Okay. Now we'll see this. The rate of change of momentum. So the statement is rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to external unbalanced external force only I'll write, but the same external unbalanced force. Okay, so actually exactly in your textbook is given the rate of change of momentum is proportional to the applied force. Okay, applied force means it is external force applied, and the change of momentum occurs in the direction of the force. Okay, so I'll just explain you very easy way when you'll come to know at the end what the statement is given in your textbook, state board textbook, Maharashtra state board textbook, that will be explained to you. Okay, the statement is not changing, but I am just trying to make it easier. Rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to external force, or I can say applied force also. Instead of external, applied. So this is applied means this is external applied force, and this momentum is in the direction of the force. Momentum is in the direction of force. So let us see what is they are explaining. Rate of change of momentum. So rate of change of momentum, how do we write? Rate of change of momentum is proportional to force. This is the statement, rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to external applied force. So this is sign is for proportionality. Okay. So that means if force is increasing, momentum will also increase. I'll explain this first. Okay. Imagine that you are running. Okay, you are having race and here one ribbon is there. So if you are running, this is the first case when you are running by certain speed. Okay, when you, this is the last position of your race. If you come till this point, you are the winner. But imagine that when you are running, what you will come to know that you will go ahead. Few steps will be moved ahead. Why? Because you are having motion present in you, and if the motion is more, you will go more steps ahead. Means this is the first case, and suppose you are moving with more speed as compared when this, what will happen? Suppose till here you will move, now next time you will go ahead. 7-8 steps, here 4-5 steps, here 7-8 steps. Why? Because the motion present in you, and it depends on the force, external force, or I can say the force and the motion and the force was in the same direction. Okay. So this is rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to force. That means force is more, change of momentum will also be more. Now here rate means what, children? Change of momentum upon time. Rate means always we take rate with time. So this is equal to this. Change of momentum is as it is, and rate of means divided by time is directly proportional to F. Now change of momentum means initial momentum and final momentum. Definitely change means there is change in momentum. Suppose this is the object. Okay. It is moving with certain momentum. Suppose this is P1 momentum. Its mass is m, and suppose it is moving with velocity u, initial velocity u. This is the object having mass m moving with initial velocity u. So its momentum will become product of mass and velocity. Correct? Now what happened? When we apply external force on this object, this object has changed its velocity. Mass will not change. What will change? Velocity. So its velocity becomes product of mass and velocity. So only velocity is changing after application of force. So what is change of momentum, children? P2 minus P1 upon T, directly proportional to F. Now P2 is m into V and P1 is m into U. So m into V minus m into U upon T is directly proportional to F. You know that mass is not changing, velocities will change. Whenever we apply force, either velocity will decrease or increase. So we have considered initial velocity U and final velocity as V. Now m is common here, V minus U upon T. V minus U upon T, m is common, is directly proportional to force. And you know that change in velocity with respect to time is called as acceleration. So it becomes m into a is directly proportional to f. If we remove proportionality sign, force is equal to K into MA. So this K is constant of proportionality. So here proportional means what, children? Proportional word is here. Proportional means force is increasing. Here directly proportional means if force is increasing, directly this will also increase. We are having inverse proportion. That means if inverse proportion is there, force is increasing, momentum is decreasing. So they are vice versa to each other. But we are having in this case directly proportional. As force will increase, rate of change of momentum will also increase. Okay. So this, if we remove this proportionality sign, we have to add one constant, that is called as constant of proportionality, and consider this is value is having 1. So F is equal to 1 into ma. Therefore, force is equal to mass into acceleration. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. So, So we can take an example of striker and carom. You children might be playing. You strike, after some times the force you are applying, it will still move. So what we are applying, what external force. So it depends on what external force we are applying. As more, the rate of change of momentum will also change, or it will also depend on this applied force. So hence this Newton's second law of motion gives you the equation force is equal to mass into acceleration, but its statement is rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to external force and takes place in that, means what takes place, rate of change of momentum takes place in the direction of force. So force is also directional quantity, children, means it requires certain direction, and momentum also requires certain direction, or it has a direction. So both are vector quantity. Vector quantities means quantities which are having magnitude as well as direction. Okay, so force is also vector quantity, and your momentum is also having the direction, so it is called as vector quantity. Now force is equal to mass into acceleration. You know force unit is what? Newton. So let us say SI unit. What is 1 Newton? Many times we say 10 Newton, 50 Newton means what? Okay. So mass of that object is 1 kg and having acceleration 1 meter per second square. So when object is having mass 1 kg and moving with acceleration 1 meter per second square, then that force is said to be 1 Newton. And what will be said to be CGS? 1 dyne. CGS unit for forces, dyne. Instead of kg, what we are having? Gram. 1 gram of object moving with 1 centimeter per second square, then the object is said to be 1 dyne. So 1 Newton is equal to 1 kilogram per meter square, or I can say Newton is equal to kilogram meter per second square. 1. Okay. So unit mass into unit acceleration gives you unit force. Okay, and in CGS also the same thing. Okay. So this is Newton's second law.